Do you think a $6 million company should have a budget? Should they be doing some forecasting? I mean, what's your thoughts around that?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. At the very least, everybody in your business should understand the budget down to gross profit, right?
Right.
And they should be involved in it. And I've had people that have come in or other businesses that I've talked to where they cannot fathom how much financial information we share with our entire staff. And for me, it's like it's that old uh you know tale that they say is like people won't train people to do their job because they're afraid they're going to leave or take it, and it's like wonder if you don't, right? And it's like the same with the fight. Like if you don't share the budget or you don't have them have say in what they think they can do, like how do you expect to hold them accountable to anything that you're trying to achieve? So for me, it's always been, transparency almost to a fault of we share everything and anything with everybody in the organization because the budget is so important. And especially when I have big aspirations for growth, it doesn't matter if I'm back when we were sub $1 million. If I didn't sit in front of the company and say, hey, next year we're going to do three, right? And somebody didn't ask how, it's like, well, there's no shot in hell that we're
Right.
going to do 3 million. So I think at any scale you should be doing budgets.
So on that transparency in regards to the company's numbers, was that pretty much a day one thing that you've always felt really open about, or did that evolve? Because I know like a lot of companies have a perception like, oh man, if I show them that, they're going to think I'm making too much money or they're not going to understand. And that is hard if that's the culture they have to all of a sudden change that. Were you from day one pretty much this transparent?
Yeah, so right when I bought the business, knew very early on that I was building an asset, not a revenue stream.
Right.
So I think to answer that question, it depends on what you're trying to do. So if you're running a business because you want to have the biggest boat to show off to your friends, then yeah, I would probably hesitate to tell you to share the budget. But if you're building a business to do what we're trying to do, which is bring comfort to the Carolinas, so we want to get in every single market in the Carolinas and have exponential growth. When I present the budget, it's, hey, so we can do these things next year. Hey, we can build a new lab. We can get this new location. We can create this subset of mid-level managers for promotions for all these people. Like, hey, we can have better health care. Like, it's like every everything that we're doing within is within context of saying we're doing this because of this. So the why is there, and then we back it up by doing what we said we were going to do. So I think yes, if you're doing it to fulfill, um, personal property acquisitions, then yeah, it may be a little tough. But if you're connecting the dots between the budget and what next year will look like and why, you don't have a choice.
Yeah. So every dollar has a purpose, basically, is what I'm
Correct.
hearing you say. And have you ever had an employee in this journey that couldn't handle that, maybe? Or, and what I mean by that is they've come into you and say, hey, man, I need to make more money because we're making so much money, or, somehow correlated it back to themselves in terms of how the business was doing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think that's unfortunately human nature.
Yeah.
But a lot of times that's probably a failure of leadership and not properly communicating, right? So we tried to solve for that by we do them, they're called PDPs, which is personal development pathways. And we're constantly, it's not like a 360 review. It's not an annual review. It happens quarterly. We have a dream manager. These conversations are happening all the time to try and
Wow.
avoid, miscommunication like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it happens. It's going to happen, but we try to avoid it by communicating.
Sure. What's a dream manager? That sounds cool.
Yeah, so we took a combination. There's a guy out of Pennsylvania. I can send you his name. He
Sure.
does a PIP process, which is a performance improvement plan process. I thought PIP has a negative
It
connotation,
does.
but I liked some of the aspects of what he had, so I took some of the best of that. And then there's a book that was written called Dream Manager, which is kind of this, it's a select end type process. And it's a little more niche than what I liked because I wanted it broad. And I kind of took the best of those two and mashed them together. And we created this, again, it's everybody in the company's in it, on it. You know, we set short-term goals, midterm goals, long-term goals. It's really about you, what you want to achieve with your life. If you know, there's monetary goals. We have actual, back to Excel, we have Excel sheets where you can plug and play different performance metrics on what you want to earn and stuff like that. So it really, what it does is it allows the teammate, the employee to have a say in their future and their performance, as opposed to me telling you why you're not performing. You know why you're not performing, or you know why you're performing before you're coming in that meeting because we've given you all the tools to be able to have that knowledge.
Wow. I hear like it just screams transparency. Like it just
Yeah,
screams like, hey, I
yeah,
control my own destiny. I know exactly what I need to do to get to where I want to be
yeah.
or not want to
Do
be.